Good morning, everybody. Today is May 23rd. Welcome to your weekly Wednesday Wisdom Call. My name is Marty Forrest. My website is helloextraordinarylife.com. You can go there and grab your free guide, 3 steps to reprogramming your negative self-talk. I am also available for one-on-one coaching. You can go to the Contact Me page or Work With Me page and send me your information, and we'll have a great conversation and see where you're at and if you're actually ready or if it's good timing for you to do one-on-one coaching. I also am going to be beginning another 6-week course, July, let me look at the date, July the 14th, I think it is, middle of July. Yep. Doing another 6-week course, and that is a journey into loving yourself from the inside out. And it's been a grand course. I actually really enjoy doing the course, and every time I do it, I get to go through my own stuff, of course, because that's just how it works when we're growing and expanding in our own consciousness, and we are presenting something. Inevitably, my own things will show up, and I get to walk with you through it. So that will be happening. Look for more information probably when I get back from Oklahoma in the end of June. All right, so today I am talking about letting go. Let me see here. I was talking about letting go of the resentments, and I did a little teaser in my email about I would work through my own, because at the moment I wrote the email, I was really, really resentful and really, really angry about, and I was focusing on my husband smoking cigars, and just over the top. And I realized I had just started this cleanse, and that things are showing up for me, because that's what happens when you start making changes and cleaning out the body. So we do emotional cleanses, spiritual cleanses, and then we do this food cleanse that allows our body to clean out, and that allows other stuff to show up emotionally and spiritually. So that's what was showing up for me, was that full-on resentment, and I didn't even realize it until I started talking to someone about it, and just almost like venomous. I was so angry, and I was quite surprised. I wasn't surprised that I was angry. I was surprised at how deeply angry I was about this. Now, I'm saying that about me personally because that's how I end up writing what I write, and then I get to share with you the teaching behind it. And my purpose is that you apply it in your own way to your own life. Now, I am just pissed that he's smoking, and that's where I'm focusing. And I thought, I'm going to take this as a teaching moment, knowing that I'm going to be talking about it today, because that's what is in my space right then. And I did some writing about it, and what I realized is there was a common thread going through my life at this point, and I started looking at other things that were showing up. I was feeling some fear, some financial fear, like I'm not going to have enough money. How are we going to pay the bills? About to lose this deal or not deal. He's a real estate agent. And so stuff like that was showing up. And his smoking, he's addicted to smoking. He's always, since I've known him, had some kind of addiction. Most of us do. His is a little more obvious. He used to chew and then he quit. And he was an occasional cigar smoker. And I made that okay. I said in my requirements, my list of requirements, no smoking, cigarettes is what I meant. So he chewed. I didn't say tobacco-free. I said no smoking. So, so I'm not clear. Now I've also made a concession and saying, okay, well, he's an occasional cigar smoker, and as long as he cleans up, and he does all those things, he's very respectful. But he's taken on smoking cigars more. And as I'm focusing on this, I start looking, as I'm writing, I'm journaling about this, I start looking at what else is showing up. Because it's not usually about one thing only. That's the symptom. And if I'm resentful, it's about me. It's not about him doing his thing and me asking him to change his thing. I'm powerless over that. That's his thing. What I have some kind of manageability over, I don't know about control, but I have some manageability over, is my own emotions. And when I started really looking at this and seeing that common thread, what I realized is I felt like I'm not important. And this was a common thing in all the things I was writing about, like the financial fear, there was something else I can't remember at this moment, and his smoking. So there were some common things symptomatically showing up, but underneath all that resentment was I'm not enough. No matter what I do, I'm not enough. I'm not important enough. His addiction is more important than me. And I started seeing that thread. Now, what I want to say about this is when you start looking at why you're feeling what you're feeling, and you start seeing the thread, because you'll start seeing various places it's showing up, because they're all symptoms of what's going on for me. I do this. I'm guilty of doing this. I'll start writing or talking, if you're talking with someone about it, to get to the root of it. I want to tell the story. I want to talk about the story instead of getting to how it makes me feel, because the story will still cover up how it makes me feel and keeps me in that place of being a victim and blaming, and still carries on my resentment. Because I noticed that when I was talking about it with my friend, that I'm talking about him and I'm blaming him for how I feel. Well, he's not responsible for how I feel. So when I started writing, I do the same thing when I write. I'll start talking about the story and what's happened and why it's this way, and I catch myself and I think, okay, it's not about any of that stuff. I have to really stop. This is where I want you to go with this. When you're looking at your own stuff, stop telling the story about it and get to the feeling of it. What about this thing makes me feel like this? What am I feeling about this? It's not about his smoking. It's that I feel like I'm not important. And when I look deeper than that, I start seeing that when I was a kid, my dad smoked my whole life. And he'd be the first one done eating at dinner, and then he'd light up a cigarette. He didn't care about us. He didn't care about how it affected us. And I would say something, and he'd tell me, oh, well, smoke follows beauty, and totally dismiss the fact that I'm still eating my food, and I have to inhale your cigarette. So really, it's not even about Lou. Right? When I go deeper into that, I start looking back at where did this actually come from? Where did it begin? It began with my dad. And it's still not about the smoking, right? That's just what shows up. It's about me not feeling like I'm valued or I'm important. And is that his job to make me feel that way? No, it's not. The resentment is always mine. Do I like it still? No. But I'm in a better place of accepting that this is not really about him. This is about how I'm feeling inside, which is not important, and like no matter what I do, I'm not enough. Which is a long lifetime program. So I don't live in that space all the time, but it still shows up. Which is why it's important to share, because it's our lifetime work, if you will. I try to not use that word even. It's us transforming and transmuting and healing the core wounding that continues to show up throughout our life in different layers and different ways. So the point of all of this is when you are looking at your own resentment, your anger, your hurt, your whatever it is, to stop talking about the story of it and being the victim of it and get to what is the feeling and how am I really feeling. Because how it really made me feel was like I was not important. I was not chosen over his addiction. But more than that, it's not even about him. So looking deeper into our history about where it stems from. And it's not about me liking it or not. It's about me being able to look at what I'm feeling about it. And once I get to how I'm feeling about it, then I can go, oh, well, how do I need to take care of me so that I feel important? Because that's his thing. That's their thing. Whoever it is, it's their thing. It's not about me. What's about me is my reaction to it and my resentment about it or my anger about it or my hurt feeling about it. That's about me. So it's about me looking at me and tapping into what's driving that. Because now, as a result of my reaction is I want to punish. And I say, oh, I punish him, but really I punish me. If I'm rejecting him because I don't like his smoking, I'm rejecting me. Like that's the mirror. I say, oh, I'm punishing him, but really I'm punishing me because I'm not accepting it and I don't like it and I have a resentment about it. So when I reject him, I automatically reject me. I'll project it to him and make it about him. But it's really me because I close off in that place of rejection and punishment and anger. I close myself off to allowing me to love him and allowing him to love me back. Right after I got done writing Monday, he was outside doing whatever stuff he's got to do, chores, and smoking a cigar. You know, I'm like, but once I got done writing and he came back in, I'm not sure if it was me that changed or if it was him that changed. But however it was, he came in I felt much more loving, probably because I'm more open to receiving it. I don't know who made that shift. What I know is my energy changed about it because I got clear about what was so for me. And then I allow myself to receive. He's probably not really being any different. But because I've shifted, he shifts with me. And I'm allowing myself to receive that love and that care that he's always bringing. So it's always about us. It's always about me. It's always about you. If I'm having a feeling, it's about me. And then I get to decide what to do about it. Sometimes there's just boundaries. Like in the beginning when I met Lou and he was chewing, I was like, don't kiss me with chewing your mouth. You know, I just get really indignant about it. And he always spit it out and cleaned up, brushed his teeth, whatever he needed to do before he kissed me. So he was always very respectful. That was my boundary about it. Okay, I know you do this thing. I can accept that you do this thing. Please be respectful of me in my own space. And he was. And we just honored that. So, you know, sometimes there's just negotiating that place so that he can do what he does and I can be accepting of it. I've said a lot, so I will stop there. And inquire, what did you get out of that? Did you get any good stuff? Any aha moment? Did you relate to it? I know you're muted. Are you able to unmute?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out how to do it. Okay. Actually, yeah. Actually, I got a lot out of it. I took notes, and I'm actually looking forward to the recording coming up so I can hear it again. When you said stop telling the story about it and get to the feelings about it, and then what are the feelings? Because I can get very caught up in telling the story. Mm-hmm. And I forget to go to the part about getting to the feelings of it. I had an aha moment myself not too long ago. My husband went back to work for his old employer. We thought it would be different this time. It's been 5 years. And it is different. The story he told Carl is not what is happening. And instead of it being a more a more organized shop. It's a Chinese fire drill. So it's affecting my husband's health big time, and his mental and his spiritual. And anyway, so I found myself telling him, you've got to quit this job. He can't do this to you. You have to do this. You have to do that. And it's like it was an out-of-body experience because that's not me. And he used the N-word with me last week. He called me a nag. I think it's the second time in our 28-year marriage. And
God.
what that did to me was, number one, it hit deep, so I knew it hit a wound. I didn't react to it, and I didn't say anything, but I started going back to my Al-Anon program. And what I found is everything he is going through, I have gone through here at work. And I started doing the writing, and I started getting the aha moments. This isn't even about him. This is about how I've been taken advantage of over the years, and not standing up for myself. And it's just amazing when you don't take it personal and you realize it's something inside of you. And when I do that, and I do the work you're talking about, or the healing, how things are revealed.
Yes.
So if I'm not a victim, I get to participate in my own life, and I get to grow. So that's when you were talking about, I stopped telling the story and get to the feelings about it. That is so huge. I've got it wrote down because getting ready to go into busy season here, and I know a lot's going to be coming up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also like how
and we all do it. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I was going to say, the resentments are always ours. That hit too. It's like, I sure want to make the resentment all about that person, that situation, that thing. I don't want it to be mine. I'm perfect. If they just all did it my way, it would be perfect.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. When we take responsibility, it gives us the choice. It gives us a choice to continue in that relationship that way, or how do we want to continue in that relationship that way, or not. Maybe we don't want to continue in that relationship. Not about the resentment, but because of our time and energy and where we want to put our focus. But it gives us a choice to make that decision instead of being the victim to it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing. Thanks for being here today.
Oh, my pleasure. I needed to hear all of it. Like I said, I can't wait for the recording.